welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider as we return for our fourth season. Excited to be here with you once again. I'm Stephen King, and we're coming to you from the locker room here on the campus of Texas A&M University Corpus Christi in the Dugan Soccer and Track Stadium. We're going to talk Islander volleyball with head coach Tony Greystone and also Islanders soccer with head coach Shanna Caldwell. We'll also have a special feature on Islander cross country coming off their hugely successful Islander Splash. We'll start things off, though, talking volleyball with Tony Greystone. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
First off, congratulations off to the best start in Islanders history. 14-4 so far. I think you knew it could be a good year, but were you expecting this? You can say yes if you really were.
Optimistic. We felt good about the team that we had, and honestly, we had backed off the schedule from a year ago, so we knew that there were some more wins available for us. But I do think we're exceeding some expectations right now.
You saw, first off, one of the big transitions from last year to this year was a change in your coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Kendra Potts left the program, got into the private sector. Morgan Thomas moved into a new role with you. What was the challenges of this kind of restructuring, moving Kendra out and moving Morgan into that place?
That part wasn't that bad. Morgan was here for a year, and obviously we had a good rapport, and there was that we hadn't missed a beat that way. It's been very, very good. She's excellent at what she does. The difference, honestly, is that we've gone from, Kendra and Morgan to Morgan and a first-year grad assistant level coach in Brianna Brink. And Bree does very good with what we ask her to do, but it's not the same as another full-time coach. So that's been the challenge is spreading out that workload, but we've handled it pretty well. And
so you're saying more of the work's landing on the head coach?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. No.
Senior Ivy Barsh, she's having an amazing year, as well as your three other seniors on the team. But after watching as much as I have had the opportunity to, I would have to say that your sophomore's contribution has probably had the biggest impact overall. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Having Ivy healthy has been a huge, huge deal for us. People kind of forget how good she was as a freshman and sophomore before her injuries got the best of her. And last year she was just, basically half of herself. But so having her back to full strength has been monumental. But those sophomores that we've got that were all contributors as freshmen, they've grown so much in this past year, and you can see them really starting to find themselves. And I don't know, it's pretty exciting to see what they're going to be even further down the road.
Not kidding around. I mean, they're not just contributing; they're posting up unbelievable numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Ranked in the top 10 in the NCAA ranks. Your setter, Kristen Nicholson, and of course your libero, Kate Klepetka. They're posting some amazing numbers.
Yeah, and we knew that those two had a chance to be awfully special. Kristen for sure, and Kate. By the end of last year, she had taken the libero position and was doing really well with it. But there's still those inconsistencies. But at somewhere between last November and the start of this year, she just flipped a switch and decided that it was going to be all her, and we hadn't been the same since. Defensively we're just lights out right now, but we've got basically 5 players who can ball control with the best of them, and the depth there is just unbelievable. So Kate may be the one putting up the big numbers, but there's no real good place to go if you want to try to get us out of system.
You talked about Brianna Brink a moment ago, your grad assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Last year she was an All-American for you.
Yeah.
Along with team leader Ashley Phelps. They left the program. How are your hitters contributing differently this year? What is different about your team as far as your outside hitters?
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's been the biggest positive surprise for us this year, because when you lose those two, we lost over 900 kills from last year's team, and I was really wondering where we were going to get that offense and how we were going to spread it out. We knew that Ivy was going to be back. We knew Brittany Gilpin was going to be a big part of it offensively, but it's been Kelsey Felix, it's been Morgan Carlson, and now lately Kirsty McGarva has stepped in and played quite a bit, and then Madeline Dowd also in the middle. So we've balanced it out, and it's hard to believe that we're actually better offensively than we were a year ago, even though we lost those two go-to players.
We talk about the offense with them, the defense as a whole. You talked about them briefly, but why is it so good and so improved? How has the defense ultimately contributed to the offense? Is it the athletes? Is it the system? A great combination of the both?
The last couple of years, our defense has been right at the top of the conference, and and I just think this year it's just the best mix of all of them. You know, we've got the experience and you know the health of the players, and you know we've got a couple of new girls. You know, Maddie Woods is going to be really special. That kid is lights out. So
another one of your
we've got more
freshman class
coming.
here.
Yeah, we've got more coming. So I think overall it's just, you know, they've adapted to the system. They know what we're asking them to do. You can see them thinking through points and doing exactly what they've been coached to do. So it's just really tough to get us out of system right now, and that lets Kristen do her thing in transition.
Yeah, you've had a few health issues, a couple of injuries, some health issues along the way. Nothing too terrible, but it's been there. But the team has had an excellent, you know, next man up, next woman up mentality coming into this. You mentioned Christy McGarva. You know, you don't seem to have a lot of drop off when you go deeper into your bench.
Yeah, it's been nice to see. You know, Kelsey Felix, she caught a really bad infection last week, and she'd just been sick, and so we just couldn't get her to break her fever, and she just wasn't available. And so Kirsty stepped in and played every match last week, and I think she pretty much led the team in kills for the week. And she just looks the part, you know, and we've just kind of been waiting for her to put some things together. But if she keeps this up, you know, we're going to have, you know, more problems trying to figure out playing time for everybody.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, good problems to have. No, I love it, yeah.
What are the best 3 words, 1, 2, 3, that describe your team?
Oh my goodness. Controlled, focused, fun. I mean, this is if you watch the team, especially if you watch our bench, we tend to go even a little bit overboard. We're very enthusiastic, and they just seem to really enjoy each other and enjoy the success that their teammates are having. So it's good for me to be able to, you know, go through this with these girls and kind of see the work that they put in, and they're just enjoying it. You know, they're not feeling stress or pressure. They're just looking forward to it and taking every challenge head on.
They seem to be having a great time, that's for sure. Now, here's an unfair question. I'll wrap things up with an unfair question.
Okay.
If your team continues to play at the level they're currently at, can they win out? That's an unfair
They can,
question.
of course they can. You know, it's always going to come down to how we play on the road and you know, how we handle another team's environment. And we're going to see 3 tough ones here in the next 2 weeks with Houston Baptist and SFA and Northwestern State. And so ask me that in about 2 weeks. We'll see how we get through these next 2 weeks.
I'll remember. I'll mark and make a note here.
Yeah.
Ask you again
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We'll see what we can do.
All right.
Coach, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Tony Greystone joining us here in the locker room talking Islander volleyball. When we come back, we have a special feature focusing on Islander cross country and their immense Islander splash that took place here on the campus of Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. More to come in a moment on Islanders Insider.
I'm Christy Felice, and I am the Director of Brand Engagement for the Houston Astros. Texas A&M University Corpus Christi has absolutely helped get me to where I am today, and it is a small campus with large opportunities. You should definitely choose Texas A&M University Corpus Christi.
97% of A&M Corpus Christi graduates will be working or in graduate school upon graduation. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Discover your island. Visit us today at tour.tamucc.edu.
The Southland Conference has great mascots, but which one's the best? You tell us during the Mid-South Bank Southland Conference Mascot Challenge. Visit the Southland Conference Facebook page and vote daily. Post a picture with your mascot and earn extra points. Show us how much you love your mascot, and your school could take home the big cash prize during the Mid-South Bank Southland Conference Mascot Challenge. Mid-South Bank. It's time to love your bank.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we have a special feature focusing on Islander cross country and their immensely successful Islander Splash.
I'm Reagan Elam with Islander Insider, and this past weekend, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi cross country program made history by hosting the largest three-day event in school history. The Islander Splash three-day event brought out cross-country runners of all ages from all over the state of Texas as they competed for the #1 spot at the Dugan Complex. Now let's get a recap with Coach Flanagan. Coach, there was some, tough competition out there this weekend. What does that mean for the Islanders?
Well, basically, every time we race, we want to improve a little bit. And, we keep an escalating schedule. In other words, we start off kind of low-key, and then we get bigger and bigger and bigger. So this was definitely a step forward. It was huge for the kids that we actually, for the first time in school history, we had a meet where they could warm up and get in their own locker rooms and chill out there and then head straight over to the starting line, and it really made a lot of difference for them that way. Having on our home campus for the first time in 15 years was huge. The level of competition was good. UTSA, Sam Houston State, we had about 17, 18 schools there, which I think 8 or 9 were D1. It was really a tight race, and the kids competed well. I was happy for the fact they went out and strapped it on and got after it.
Sure, and what athletes stood out the most to you this past weekend?
I would say on the guy side, it was 2 of them. Now, Daniel Guerrero continued his improvement. He moved up. He was our #1 guy. He's been solid all the way through. He was #2 last time out. And Jordan Wright from Marble Falls, he really had a good race for us. The whole team got out good. They executed extremely well on the men's side. We got up front. And, we faded a bit at the end, but we got, about 4 or 5 weeks till the conference meet. We're really going to be working on that, basically, and more endurance work. Our speed's pretty good. On the girls' side, it was a huge step forward. The girls have been going out kind of tentatively at both at Rice, Sam Houston, and at Rio Grande Valley. And this time, they, no hesitancy at all. They went right to the front, and they stayed there. Some of them drifted back a little bit, but they stayed a lot farther up than we had last. A couple weeks ago, Sam beat us by, a goodly margin. This time was really close. And as their conference team, and it's always great to run right with UTSA. It was a good race. The kids that really, I thought, looked well, Regina and Liz did their normal good races. Taylor Haas had a real breakthrough performance, as did Isabel Mendoza. She came up and it was our 4th girl. Carissa Pignon was right behind her. So all in all, that top 5 looked really solid. Brandy Garcia had her first competition in a year. It was a year ago at the Islander Splash. She was diagnosed with a very serious illness. We didn't think she was going to run again. A year later, she ran her first race. So that was a huge step forward. So I'd say if anybody had the race, it was Brandy Garcia this week.
Cool. And what obstacle did the Islanders overcome this past weekend that you guys struggled with?
Well, basically on the ladies' part, it was the fact that, they have to have the confidence to go on out that, hey, you're not going to perish, you're not going to die, you're going to be able to get out, get up front. That's where we belong, and that's what they did. Now they drifted a little bit, but hey, the backwards they went was a lot better than if they'd gone out slow and had to work their way through it. And that was, psychologically, mentally, I was really proud of them. They went out and competed. It's like when I got done, told them, hey, that's how you run a race. That's what we want. On the guys' side, hey, they got no trouble with confidence. Now we just got to hold it. We were out good, and we faded a bit. But again, the guys have a huge amount of confidence. We build on that. We continue. They've been doing a goodly amount of distance. This team's been putting in the most distance any team we've had for quite a while here. So I'm really optimistic about what we can look down and can do down the road. And this was a big step forward for us.
Right, and this cross-country program hosted the largest three-day event in school history.
That's right.
What does that mean for recruitment in the future?
Well, it was the largest cross-country meet in the state of Texas. Amen and hallelujah. For recruitment, it meant we had 5,000 kids on this campus that got a chance to see our excellent facilities, got a chance to see the campus. A lot of them went over and took a look at the Island campus. I've been getting emails and phone calls of kids who are interested in coming and being Islanders next year, and it's not just for the cross-country team. I think this really helped. Anytime you get 5,000 athletes, prospective students on the campus, and can be impressed by what we have here, that's huge. So it was really, I think if you count the spectators, this is the largest event in athletic history at the university, and so we were really happy. And in a month from now, we do it again with a regional meet, the state qualifier. And I've been trying to get this meet down here for 15 years, and praise the Lord, we finally got it. And it
Right.
was a logistic challenge, but we came through great. The kids, we had 160 people working it. My assistant coaches did a great job. Coach McBride, head track coach, did a huge job. Our kids, outstanding. We had ROTC out there. We had Explorer Scouts. We had campus police. We had fifth-year students. We had some kids getting extra credit for their classes. We had 160 people out there working. The trainers did a huge job. We got nothing but rave reviews about this meeting, so we're driving on, and I really think we really put the university as a total in a great light.
Alrighty, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining Islander Insider, and when we come back, we will join Stephen King in the studio with soccer head coach Shanna Caldwell.
My name is Candy Richardson, and I'm the principal at Gibson Elementary School. When I wanted to move up in my career, A&M Corpus Christi was there for me. A great career starts with a great education. My professors took a personal interest in my success. Texas A&M Corpus Christi helped me become the leader that I am today.
More than half of A&M Corpus Christi graduates don't have student loan payments after graduation. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Discover your island. Visit us today at virtualtour.tamucc.edu.
Hey, you, couch potato, what are you doing at home? This is where the action is. These seats are great. I can even yell at the coach from here. Hey, coach!
Hey, Coach, these are great seats.
I know, and it's a great game, too.
I wish I could sit here.
Hey, who's coaching the team?
Islanders basketball season tickets are on sale now. Call 825-BALL or visit GoIslanders.com to order yours today. Welcome back to Islander Insider. At this time, we're going to talk a little soccer with the head coach of the Islander program, Coach Shanna Caldwell. Coach, how are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good seeing you as well. You know, this is the first time we've gotten a chance to talk here, our first edition of Islander Insider this year. Let's kind of go back to the beginning for a moment. What was the first training session like this year, and what was your early impression of how the team, reported? Summer for you last year was a little bit difficult because I know you had a lot of injuries coming off of that summer, but how was it this year?
The kids came in ready to go. We had about 10 girls that stayed here all summer and worked out with our strength and conditioning staff, and the fitness level overall was much higher than it had been the summer before, which was nice. We're still growing and getting to what our ultimate goal is, but to see progress is what you want, and you take the positives and build from there. And the girls came in, they were excited, and it was a good training camp. It was a good preseason.
Excellent. Now, since the last time we spoke, you've had some changes on your staff, as a matter of fact. Tell me about your new assistant, Amanda Forrester, and how has she contributed to your vision of the program?
Amanda's great. Amanda came in this summer. She was recommended by a fellow colleague, and she's from Las Vegas. She actually knows a few of the kids that are on the team, which that's helpful. They had a connection right away, but she's very good. She has a good attacking mind for the game. She gets out, gets them warmed up, gets them loose, gets them going. And this fall and really this spring, we'll see a lot of her influences with a lot of technical work. She loves to train, and she's a fiery competitor. So that personality starts to come out more and more.
So plain and simple, a good fit.
Yeah, she's definitely a good fit with the program.
No doubt. Whether it's a player that had put in a lot of extra work to get stronger or faster, like you said, in the strength conditioning program, or maybe a freshman who's just so enthusiastic to contribute, there'll always be internal competition. Did someone surprise you this year and win a spot that you didn't expect to happen?
You know, I think that the key with this team, which keeps it interesting, is that they're definitely, for the first time, it's nice to see that there is competition for the spots and seeing them kind of battle back and forth. You know, we had some ideas of kids that we thought would step up. You know, we weren't sure, you know, how quickly the freshmen were gonna jump in, and you know, they've all done a very good job. Been big contributors throughout the season. You know, Delaney came back really strong. You know, she was out most of the spring, so that was kind of a question mark of how her health was going to be. But she came in definitely very strong, and a little slow start, but has just turned it on and become the leader that we're looking for her to do and be.
You talk about leadership is exactly where I was going to go to next. You know, that responsibility usually lies with upperclassmen, but not always that being the case. You know, who is the leader on this team that others look to, and did you have to ask that person to be a leader, or did it organically happen on its own?
I think, you know, the role shifts back and forth on with this group. You know, we have several people off the field that definitely step up and you know, make sure that we're getting what we need to be doing off the field, taken care of. You know, Jess Berdan's always been great with that, and she's got some help with, you know, some different leaders within the classes below her. On the field, you know, I think people do look to Delaney to step up and have big games, and Nana Polson actually has been a very big influence on the team. She's garners a lot of respect from every player. Sure. She really understands the game, sees it well, and no one can question her work ethic. So I think Nana's definitely been a big, seeing her step up and kind of come out of her shell has been a very big positive for us.
Talk to me a little bit about the defense, because defense ultimately is the most important thing on the field. Defense contributes to the offensive end. How has the defense been this year?
You know, we're still finding our rhythm and groove of who's going to be where. It's great that we have the depth that we can play different players in different positions with some injuries early on that have kind of forced us to see who else can play back there. As now we're getting more healthy, coming back kind of to solidify our back line. But, you know, when our back line is on and playing well together, they're very difficult to get through. And having the attack out of the back with Danny and Jordan has been a key that we didn't have last year, being able to go forward and really get into the attack and be a threat out of the back. So that's been a nice change.
Now the squad is 0-1 in Southland Conference play. What does the rest of the Southland look like? I mean, tell me about soccer in the Southland.
It's the most competitive it's been, you know, in the 12 years that I've kind of been familiar with the conference. I think this is one of the most competitive top to bottom. That it will probably come down until the last few games of the season of who's going to place where. You know, all the teams are very strong this year. You know, if you look at the scores, they've been up and down for everybody. And I think you can't take a game off. Every game is very important.
Next up for your team is a return home to the Jack, the Dugan Family Soccer and Track Stadium. You've been away for 3 weeks. What's it like, and how important is it for you guys to come home for the next 3?
I think it's going to be great to play at home with the crowd. Being back at the Jack, it's a great college atmosphere. The fans from campus, from the community. It's loud. It just gives us a little bit of a boost. And like you said, we've been gone for so long. It'd be nice for the girls to have a full week of school, just kind of have their own routine back. And they're excited. They're hungry to get back out here and play well.
Yeah, sleep in their own beds, regular meal routines.
Yeah. So it'll be a nice swing for us to have a couple games at home.
Now, as of taping today, there are 8 conference matches remaining on the schedule. What needs to change in order for your team to be there in the Southland Conference tournament?
You know, we had 3 of the top teams right off the bat to open up with, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Test you early and get you going. You know, like we said, it's just a matter of trying to get a point every weekend, no matter, you know, especially at home, trying to get, 3 points when you're at home, and trying to find ways to get points wherever you can on the road. And I think it's something that the girls are hungry for. They know that it's not out of their reach yet, and that every day they've got to show up and get better.
It's going to be an interesting run, as Again, we return here this week. Hopefully we got a great fan turnout, and again, want to wish you the best of luck.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Shanna Caldwell, head coach of Islander Soccer, joining us here in the locker room today. When we come back, we're going to tell you what's next for Islander Athletics. Stay with us, more to come. Islander Insiders continues. Welcome back to Islander Insider. As we wrap things up today, let's bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. Islander Women's Volleyball will be traveling to Prairie View on Thursday the 1st to take on the Panthers at 6:30. They'll follow that up 2 days later on Saturday the 3rd as they play at 1 o'clock at Houston Baptist in Southland Conference play. Then they'll return to the road on Thursday the 8th as they travel to Nacogdoches, Texas to take on Stephen F. Austin at 6:30. That game will be featured on ESPN3. Islander Cross Country will be on the road on Friday, October 2nd, as they participate in the Texas Invitational. Islander Golf will be on the road as they compete in the Harold Funston Golf Invitational at the Raven Nest Golf Course in Huntsville, Texas on Monday the 5th and 6th. And finally, Islanders Soccer will be back here on campus at the Dugan Soccer and Track Stadium as they take on Nichols on Friday the 2nd at 7 o'clock. It's Kickin' Cancer. It is the Soccer's pink game. Also on Sunday the 4th, Youth Soccer Day here at the Jack as the Islander soccer team will take on Southeastern Louisiana at 1 o'clock. And finally, Islander Soccer will be back here one more time as they play the University of the Incarnate Word on Friday the 9th at 7 o'clock. That night is First Responders Night. You can always keep up with all schedules and statistics and all stories of the Islanders at GoIslanders.com. And check out the Islanders on social media. We want to thank Tony Greystone, head coach of Islander Volleyball, and Shanna Caldwell of Islander Soccer for joining us here in the locker room once again today. I want to thank everybody here from the Islander broadcast crew, and of course, thank you for tuning in. This has been Islanders Insider. Good night.
Healthcare never sleeps. It's constantly changing.
Hello.
It's not a desk job. I'm on my feet all day.
This is Trevor 3 East.
I'm Trevor Bonzer, and I'm a nurse manager at Christus Bond Shoreline. The faculty at A&M Corpus Christi, you see the passion in their teaching. They will challenge you, and they will motivate you. They want you to succeed.
97% of A&M Corpus Christi graduates will be working or in graduate school upon graduation. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Discover your island. Visit us today at tour.tamucc.edu.